Good morning, class 6 students. I hope you all are fine and waiting for today's video lesson. Today I am going to start chapter 4, Settling In. The chapter is an entry from the Diary of Young Girl by Annie Frank. Let me say few words about the writer Annalise Frank. Annalise Frank was born on 12th June 1929 in Frankfurt and she was died in March 1945. In 1933, her family moved to Amsterdam. 7 years later, however, the Nazis invaded the Netherlands. On her 13th birthday in 1942, Annie received a diary as a gift from her parents. She immediately took to writing in it. On 5th July 1942, the Frank family moved to the secret annex. Anne's diary captured 2 years of hiding, but it ended on 4th August 1944 when they were betrayed by a Dutch collaborator. Annie died in March 1945 at the Bergen-Belsen camp in Germany. She was 15 years old. In the present chapter, the author Annie Frank shares her terrified experience of hiding place with Kitty. Kitty is the name given to a diary by her. She thinks that paper has more capacity to absorb thoughts rather than people. Annie Frank, along with her Jewish family and friends, lived in hiding for over 2 years in fear of the Nazis. The Nazi Party, led by Adolf Hitler, ruled Germany between 1933 and 1945. The Nazis imprisoned and killed millions of Jews. Annie and her family took shelter in some secret rooms behind a bookcase in Annie's father's workplace. In this chapter, other than Annie and Kitty, we meet with other characters like Margot Frank, Annie's sister, Edith Frank, Annie's mother, Otto Frank, Annie's father, Van Dance, a business associate of Otto Frank. Mr. Clement was Otto Frank's friend. Mape, a Dutch woman who assisted the annex residents with food, clothing, books, and companionship. Then Bep, Otto Frank's colleague. Then Mr. Kugler was an employee at Otto Frank's company in Amsterdam. Let me read an entry from the diary which was written on Saturday, 11th July 1942. Here, Annie addressed to Kitty, that is, she has given the name of her diary as Kitty. So, dearest Kitty. Now, let me begin. Father, mother, and Margot still can't get used to the chiming of the Western Torin clock, which tells us the time every quarter of an hour. Not me, I liked it from the start. It sounds so reassuring, especially at night. You no doubt want to hear what I think of being in hiding. Well, all I can say is that I don't really know yet. First, know the meaning of these words. Chiming means melodious ringing sound. Then Westertoren is a church in central Amsterdam. Then reassuring means putting at ease. In these lines, Annie complains to Kitty about her father, mother, and Margot. She tells that she loves the chiming, that is, melodious sounds of Westertoren clock as it gives her a feeling of comfort and ease. But her parents and her sister are still unaware of these charming sounds. Later, Annie tells that even her diary, Kitty, wanted to know her feeling of being in hiding, but she herself does not know. Let me continue the reading. I don't think I will ever feel at home in this house, but that doesn't mean I hate it. It's more like being on vacation in some strange pension, kind of an odd way to look at life in hiding, but that's how things are. The annex is an ideal place to hide in. It may be damp and lopsided, but there's probably not a more comfortable hiding place in all of Amsterdam. No, in all of Holland. Annie knew that the hiding place couldn't make her feel at home, but she didn't hate it. She compares her staying in hiding place with spending a vacation in some strange pension. That is, without earning anything, they lived there. Of course, it's a strange thing to live a life in hiding. She finds Annex a better place to hide in. Though it was damp and lopsided, it was more comfortable hiding place in Holland. Up to now, our bedroom with its blank walls was very bare. Thanks to father who brought my entire postcard and movie star collection here beforehand. And to a brush and a pot of glue, I was able to plaster the walls with pictures. It looks much more cheerful. When the Vandans arrive, we will be able to build cupboards and other odds and ends out of the wood pile in the attic. Margot and mother have recovered somewhat. Yesterday, mother felt well enough to cook spilled pea soup for the first time, but then she was downstairs talking and forgot all about it. Let me read the meaning of these words. Annex, a portion of a building joined to a main building. Lopsided, slanted. Amsterdam is a capital of the Netherlands. Holland is a region and a former province on the western coast of the Netherlands. Odds and ends, small unimportant things. Attic, a small space or room just below the roof of a house. You have to write down word meaning in your fair copy. In these paragraphs, Annie describes how had she decorated Anne's walls with pictures. For that, she thanked her father who brought the materials like postcard, movie star collection, a brush and a pot of glue. She also plans to build cupboards with the help of Vandans. Later, she tells about Margot and her mother who have recovered from illness. She also remembers spilled pea soup prepared by her mother. The beans were scorched black, and no amount of scraping could get them out of the pan. Let me explain these lines. The beans were scorched black as her mother went downstairs talking and forgot all about it. They got nothing out of the pan. Last night, the four of us went down to the private office and listened to England on the radio. I was so scared someone might hear it that I literally begged father to take me back upstairs. Mother understood my anxiety and went with me. Whatever we do, we were very afraid that neighbors might hear or see us. We started off immediately the first day sewing curtains. Actually, you can hardly call them that since they are nothing but scrap of fabric varying greatly in shape, quality and pattern, which father and I stitched crookedly together with unskilled fingers. These works of art were tacked to the windows where they will stay until we come out of hiding. Just know the meaning of these words. Scorched means burnt. Anxiety means a feeling of nervousness or unease. Tagged means fixed in place with tacks. These paragraphs tell us about the fearful and anxious hiding condition of Annie and her family. They were even scared and afraid from the neighbors. So, she and her father stitched curtains immediately. Actually, it can be hardly called curtains as it was stitched from scraps of fabric. They tacked them to the windows and hoped that the curtains would stay until they would come out of hiding. The building on our right is a branch of the cake company, a firm from Jandam, and on the left is a furniture workshop. Though the people work there are not on the premises after hours, any sound we make might travel through the walls. We have forbidden Margot to cough at night, even though she had a bad cold, and are giving her large doses of codeine. In this paragraph, Annie describes how suppressively they lived in hiding. Her sister Margot was severely suffering from cold and was forbidden to cough at night so that they might not be disclosed. I am looking forward to the arrival of the Vandans, which is set for Tuesday. It will be much more fun and also not as quiet. You see, it's the silence that makes me so nervous during the evenings and nights, and I would give anything to have one of our helpers sleep here. It's really not that bad here since we can do our own cooking and can listen to the radio in Daddy's office. Mr. Kleiman and Mip and Beb Waskuzel too have helped us so much. Here, Annie tells that she gets nervous during evenings and nights because of the silence. She is even ready to give anything to helpers if they agree to sleep there. She feels comfortable in the company of Vandans, Mr. Kleiman, Mip, and Beb, who have helped them so much. We have already canned loads of rhubarb, strawberries, and cherries, so for the time being, I doubt I will be bored. We also have a supply of reading material and we are going to buy lots of games. Of course, we can't ever look out the window or go outside, and we have to be quiet so the people downstairs can't hear us. Zaandam is a city in the Netherlands. Then codeine is a medicine used to treat cough. Then rhubarb, a plant with long red or pink stems. So this paragraph is quite simple. I think you can easily understand this. Yesterday we had our hands full. We had to put 2 crates of cherries for Mr. Kugler together. We are going to use the empty crates to make bookshelves. Someone's calling me. Yours, Annie. Here, Annie tells that the previous day they were very busy as they had to pack 2 crates of cherries for Mr. Kugler and they will use the empty crates as bookshelves. Comment added by Annie on 2nd September 1942. Not being able to go outside upsets me more than I can say, and I'm terrified our hiding place will be discovered and that we will be shot. That, of course, is a fairly dismal prospect. In the last paragraph, we find that even after 2 months, Annie and her family were still hiding in the annex. They were living the life of confinement as they didn't go outside. They lived fearfully and thought at any time they might be discovered and would be shot by the Nazis, which was really a depressing situation. I think you have understood it well. I will start chapter 5 in next video lesson. Till then, take care and have a nice time.